Hi everybody. I am gonna do some baking today, and I am first going to have a glass of wine. Ta-da! There it is. It actually might be my second glass, but I do want to share this wine with you. It's an orange wine. It's skins from Field Recordings. It's so good. It's really, really good. I like it a lot. An orange wine, like the skins are just left in a little bit longer to really get all the like flavors from the skins. So that's what an orange wine is. So there's some really interesting ones out there, some with like smoke and iron and like a little bit of like camphor, which kind of reminds me of scotch. Anyway, I'm gonna cook. We have friends who are doing a little party and I wanted to take a little dessert. So I'm gonna do fudge brownies. So good, so good. The first thing that you need, well, you need a few things. So the first thing that you need 2 bowls. You need a kind of a bigger bowl. This is what we're gonna mix everything in. And then a smaller bowl because this is what we're going to sift our dry ingredients in. And then we have to fold because we're gonna do sort of fudgy brownies, and depending on how fudgy you want them, is determined by how long you want to cook them. So the less you cook them, the more fudgy they are. The more you cook them, the less fudgy. So your ingredients, you need 2 eggs. So I have my 2 eggs at room temperature right here. I have 12 tablespoons of butter, or 169.5 grams. We're gonna melt this. I'm not gonna do it just yet, but we're gonna melt this because we're gonna mix this with the sugar and vanilla, and we're gonna cream that together. So speaking of sugar, you need 1 1/4 cups of sugar. It's a lot of sugar, I have to admit. We're doing 3/4 cup of flour and 1/4 cup of cocoa. So 1/4 cup of cocoa, and we have 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we have our vanilla. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You need a pack of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I like to, you want it good quality. I kind of like Ghirardelli. I don't know. I would prefer 70% because I like dark chocolate, but this is 60, it'll be really good. You need a measuring cup. I've already put some of my chocolate chip morsels in here because all we're gonna do is we're going to melt these in the microwave, and I'm gonna melt them 30 seconds at a time while I'm kind of doing all this other stuff. And I'll explain more of that later as to why I'm doing it that way. You need a mixer. Ta-da, handy mixer. And then an 8x8 baking dish. And I've put parchment paper in here because the parchment paper, when the brownies are cool, I can just take this parchment and lift the whole thing out, and it makes it super, super easy. Let's see, what else do we need? Oh, you need slicky pots. These are very handy, and you need a sifter. So I use this little sifter because I'm gonna be sifting the flour and the cocoa and the salt together, and you wanna sift it. Anyway, so we do a lot of folding, but the first thing that we're gonna do is have a sip. The other reason why I'm doing this recipe is because it's warm outside, right? And I don't wanna put this oven on because it will heat up the entire apartment and it'll be crazy hot. I'm already hot because I just walked to the grocery store. But I have a little, one of those little toaster oven things, and I can bake these brownies in there perfectly. So, and it doesn't give off as much heat as that darn thing does. So that's what we're doing. I think I have everything. Yes. Okay, so here we go. Now you know what you need. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our butter, 12 tablespoons or 169.5 grams of butter. We're gonna melt it. It needs to be melted. So we're going in the microwave. I'm gonna put it on for 30 seconds. We are ready. This is really nice. I'm telling you, if you haven't. Oh, my girlfriends turned me on to this, the orange wine and the skins, in particular, that from Field Recordings, because they have a wine business and gift. It's actually a gift and wine. It's called Clutch Gifts. No, they didn't pay me to do that. I just really love their stuff. And they have impeccable taste. They get the best wines, small production, like really good stuff. California, Italian, French, like you name it, they can get it, and it's really, really good. Not to mention they curate some of the most amazing gifts. So if you need that, if you need gifts, clutchgifts.com. Go, check them out. Let's check on my butter. Ooh. Maybe 10 more seconds. We don't want it too hot. We just want it melted. If it's too hot, then you don't want to cook the eggs or anything when you're mixing all that together. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to take my chocolate chips. I already had a few left over, so you just need one bag, and you want to take half of the bag and put it in a, sorry, I'm making a lot of noise. So you want to take half of a bag, put it in a large cup, because you want to have a lot of surface area in there. And I do about half of the bag into this cup, and then slowly over time, while I'm doing everything else, I cook these in the microwave. And I do it at like 30 seconds at a time because I want it melted, but I don't want it so hot that when I go to the step of like doing the eggs, that it cooks the eggs. So, because you're gonna mix all this, it's gonna be fantastic. So, let's do this. Ta-da! Okay, so now we're gonna take this. I'm gonna reposition you so you can see what's happening. There we go. Let's see. Okay, there we go. This is our butter that we're throwing in here. Yum, 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 yum. And I'm just going to get all that butter out of there. Yeah. I don't like to waste the butter or anything, so I really try to get everything out. There's that. There we go. Now we need our sugar. One sec. So here's all of our sugar. We're gonna take and we're gonna mix this in to the melted butter. And we're gonna mix this for like, I don't know, like 2 minutes, I think. Hold. All right. So now we're just gonna mix it. Get it all nice and good. next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our eggs and our vanilla. We're gonna put it all in here. I love butter and sugar. It smells so good. Okay, now we're gonna take our 2 eggs and we're gonna take our vanilla and we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 2 eggs. And then we're gonna beat everything for like 2 or 3 minutes because you want it really light and fluffy and you want a light color. 1, 2. And this is so easy, so super easy, so super easy. Now I'm gonna take and crack my eggs. I should have cracked these already in a bowl and then put them in, which I'm gonna do that right now. Just because I'm always worried about getting shells in stuff. So I crack them in the bowl and then pour them in. No shells, yay! So here we go. Just gonna put that in there. Okay, now we're gonna mix for about 2 or 3 minutes. Smells good. Look, I'm ready to do another 30 seconds on the clock for the chocolate chips. And the other reason why I do it like that is because I don't want them to burn. So if you do it slowly, they're not gonna burn in the microwave. Like, I've had that done before where they burn. It's not fun. Drinking and baking. Yeah, that's what I like. Ta-da. Okay, check this out. Light and fluffy. So, it smells really good. It's light in color. It's been mixed a lot. There's a lot of air in there, so fantastic. I forgot something. We need a whisk. Yeah, you gotta have a whisk because now we're gonna whisk in the chocolate, the melted chocolate. Ooh, look at that. It is melty, really melty. So we're gonna mix that into here, but I'm gonna let it cool just for a second because it's pretty warm. And I don't want it to cook my eggs. So I'll remove these for the time being. So good. So I have my slicky pot. Let's do it. Let's mix our chocolate. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I love chocolate. Chocolate, butter, and sugar. All right, all of it's in there. Now I'm gonna take my whisk. See that? I'm just gonna whisk it around. Till it's well combined. Woo, it smells good. last drop in there. Okay, let's taste it. Delicious. Right? I mean, how can you screw that up? Okay, now for the rest of it, what do we do next? We get a drink of wine. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sift in our flour, our cocoa, and our salt. So here I have this. I'm just gonna put it on top like here. And this is what I'm doing. Like so. Done and done. There. Salt. Now let's just sift it in. See that? Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So look, those are the thick bits that are left. So I'm just gonna toss this because we don't want that. Okay, that's done. Now we are gonna fold these sifted ingredients in. We don't wanna really mix that. We want a nice fold, but you gotta get the whole thing. So I'm gonna scrape down the edges with my bigger slicky pot that I have. And to fold, I'm just taking my spoon, my slicky pot, and just kind of stirring, but not really, just gently like that. You see that? So that's how you fold. You just gently rotate your spoon or slicky pot or whatever it is around and through just until you get it mixed. And I'm careful to scrape down the sides too. It is coming together. It is looking good. Once again, this is really easy. I mean, folding is maybe the hardest thing to do. I mean, if you aren't experienced, but all it is just take that around and through, around and through, scrape down the sides. It's really easy. Okay, so it's incorporated. See? Now I'm gonna take my, where'd they go? Ah! I'm gonna take my chocolate chips because this is where you get extra fudginess. So I'm gonna take the rest of the bag and I'm gonna throw them in here so that there are, when this cooks, there are streaks of chocolate throughout, like really intense chocolate. Yes, I had extra left, but remember I started with like probably a quarter of a package. So you do the same thing. You fold these chocolate chips in. You just want to get them mixed in, kind of. I mean, this is gonna be good. I mean, all the butter and the sugar is insane. The thing too that you want to do with these is you want to, you can leave them out, but you gotta eat them. Like, you gotta eat the brownies within the first 2 days because otherwise it just, I don't know, they just don't taste as fresh. And I think it's because of all the butter and the sugar. Okay, so that's well incorporated. Now I'm gonna take this, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my batter in here, and then I'm gonna spoon it out into the corners and stuff, because this is gonna, it's not real viscous, so you kind of have to like spread it a little bit because it's really thick batter. And just right on top of the paper. Okay, so there's that. Ooh, I'm sweating. It's probably because I haven't drank enough wine. Okay. You can see it's not all the way around, so or spread. So I'm gonna hold the paper and I'm just gonna push it around into the corners. Into the corners, like so. And we're done. That's it. So this is all mine. I know you're not supposed to eat raw batter, but I'm living on the edge. Okay, last thing that I'm gonna do. See this? Because I have my little toaster oven, I'm gonna trim these to be even with the pan because I don't want this to burn because it's electric and these stick up and they'll probably hit almost the top or hit those burners. So I'm gonna just trim those. With my handy dandy scissors. Okay, fudgy brownies. This is how I do it. Let's watch. So this is my toaster oven. We want it on bake, 350 degrees. Oh, let's take this out first. So here we go. Okay, so you saw me put it in there. It's gonna go in there. I'm gonna do it for 23 minutes. You can do it from 20 to 25 minutes, whatever you decide. Play with it. Like if you do it for 25 minutes and it's not fudgy enough or whatever, then do it less. But you have to also figure out like what your oven temperature, like how your oven cooks. Like does it cook hot? Does it cook slow, or is it pretty true to the temp? So you kind of have to play around with that, but it's easy. You can't undercook these. Well, you can undercook them, but you can't really overcook them because they're still going to be good. So just play around with it. And then there you go. You have chocolate fudgy brownies. When this is ready, I'll come back and I'll show you. Oh my God, the timer went off. It went off. And it smells so good in here, like chocolate. Oh, so amazing. Why haven't they invented the smell-o-vision? They were going to a long time ago, but it never happened. So where's the smell-o-vision? Because if you could smell this, you would be like cray cray. All right, here we go. We're taking this shit out. We're taking it out. Look at this. But first, I need my little gloves. There we go. Ooh. Ooh. That is heaven. Oh, so good, so good, so good. All right, so these are gonna cool. We're gonna let them cool on this fancy rack right there so that the air circulates around. And then I'm gonna lift them out of the pan after they're completely cooled, and then I'll cut them and eat them. So hopefully I'll have some pictures of you guys, or for you guys to see people devouring them, you know, if they're good. I hope they are. I think they're good. I mean, they smell amazing. So thanks for joining. Super, super easy. Don't forget your field recordings, skins. It's so good, so good. All right, cheers. We are done here. Okay, so these have it cooled. I might be a little tipsy too. So I'm gonna take the paper, and first of all, I'm gonna just bring this over to here because I'm gonna cut these. So I'm gonna pull this up like so and put it here. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So then I'm just gonna, I can lift this up and take the paper off like that, and then I'm gonna cut. I'm going to use a serrated knife. You always want to use a serrated knife for this kind of thing. So here we've got some, ooh, really good. Yes, yes. Oh, I can feel the fudginess in the middle. Look at that on the knife. See that? Oh my gosh. That means that there's some real good fudginess there. So we're gonna do 3 more cuts. Like that. Actually 2 more cuts, that's it. Just this one. There you go. Now check this out. Look at that fudge. So I'm gonna take these to our little dinner party tonight, and maybe you'll see somebody eating these. Mwah.